It's time for Cutting Edge Consciousness with Freeman Michaels and Barnett Bain. Thought-provoking discussions and bold ideas from the edge of possibility.
Freeman Michaels here with my co-host
Barnett Bain. Good day to you. How are you?
Good day to you.
Good day.
It's a good day.
It's a little old school, isn't it?
No, I like it.
You do?
It's formal. Good day.
Super.
You can call me sir. Good day, sir.
Good day, sir. So, how are things with you?
Things are good. Things are really good. What's been going on? You know, I had an interesting dream the other night. I thought of you. So let me tell you a little bit.
That sounds a little sketchy.
It does. I didn't mean it that way.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you the bit of the dream.
But I'm fine with it. It's beautiful.
We're open, guys. So here's what happened. In the dream, I'm playing poker. Now, I used to play poker with friends, and that was something I did a lot. I would do it every Sunday night. And the game started off where these were really good friends of mine. I felt really like we were joking around. It was fun. And then very quickly, I saw an opportunity to take the pot. And so I went for it. I went all in. And I was right in my decision making. Like, it was the right thing to do. But something went wrong, and I realized I might lose. And I started to panic. And it's interesting because in this experience, these friends of mine went from friends to adversaries. I wanted to win, right?
Yeah.
And then when I felt like I was losing, and it felt like there was like injustice, and I got really freaked out, and it woke me up. It was one of those dreams that woke me up, and I was really shook by it. And I was sitting there in bed, kind of talking myself down, like, okay, first of all, who cares if I won or lost? And I was really perplexed by this. And here's why I bring it up. Yeah. You and I have been talking a lot about competition. We've been talking a lot about how much our programming has this
crush it. This crush it tone.
Well, we've talked about it in terms of the winning game. Like, we're trying to win all the time.
Yeah.
And I just look at, and it's even crept into things where we've noted, like, I was competing right there. I was competing for attention. I was trying to be right. These parts of me leapt out, smartest guy in the room or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was really a little shocking to have it in, because dreams always have that visceral. It's like my whole body was really, you know what it's like when you're a little kid and you're playing musical chairs.
Yeah.
Or watching my kids play musical chairs. And, the little kid realizes that the music stopped and they don't have a chair. It's a sinking feeling, And the same thing.
We don't have messages that support those feelings. Instead, we have messages that support the compete and kill model, the compete and crush model. We don't have messages that support an old ideal of what competition could be. The Olympic ideal, once upon a time, in its earliest expression.
Yeah, not the Olympics today.
Not so much today, but once upon a time, it was about creating an environment where you excelled, and competition was designed to bring up your personal best and to inspire others toward their best,
towards greatness.
So you lifted, and these became triumphs. Triumphs were winnings that emerged out of a basis of character. So it wasn't really about crush at all, crush it at any possible cost. It's a very, very interesting thing that you bring up. Really,
well, it's very potent, because I think about how much of my life has been bound by feeling like I need to get it right, or fear of failure. And how often have I undermined potential for intimacy and connection because a friend turns into a competitor, in the proverbial musical chairs game of life.
Where we have no modeling or very little modeling of how else to hold these complicated, awkward feelings. We don't really have that many models. There are models. And this is a very smooth segue into introducing our guest, because there are models for a very nurturing and inspiring and uplifting environment of
Cooperation.
and
Collaboration.
and triumph of character
Yes.
and leadership. And so this is probably a really great time to bring our guest into this conversation.
There's one piece that I want to say before we bring our guest in, just something that we've been saying a lot lately, and it's really apropos, and that's that things, for example, something comes up in my life. Let's say I'm eating in a restaurant, and the food comes, and there's just something about it that isn't quite right, and I've been saying lately that it lacks vision. It lacks vision. And I think of going into sort of your average hotel, let's say, your average chain hotel, and it's very sterile and it's very appropriate. Maybe the furniture just looks the same and it just lacks vision. And I wanted to say that piece because that's a big part of what I think we're going to talk about today, besides the how do we create healthy competition and or shift from that.
Certainly requires,
Yeah.
It requires a diligent intention. It requires a sense of possibility and the capaciousness to be able to hold the boundaries of that kind of modeling in order to be a force of vision, and then in order to introduce the values of those of that vision into whatever your enterprise, whether it's a conversation or it's a meal at a restaurant, or it is creating a large enterprise with that touches a lot of people.
Or it's my own life.
Or your own
how
life.
often do my decisions lack vision? How often am I following something by rote? Even to tie these two together, a lot of the competitive sort of knee-jerk reactions in the world are something that are learned, and it lacks vision. It lacks a more profound sense of purpose.
We're always expressing either by default somebody else's vision.
You got it.
Generally, we do so having been programmed. I mean, we are products of a society that we're other people's stories and other people's ideas and other people's movies and other people's values, and so we have, to the extent that it is a cultural vision, that we're only as valuable as the tennis shoes we wear or the kind of car we drive.
Right.
But there is a certain maturity that comes when we can begin to make a choice to have not a hand-me-down sense of vision, but a handcrafted sense of vision.